So you'll tend to focus on the one that's most important to you. But if you decide that you want to make him an expert at all, then you can do that. It just takes time.
And how does leveling an expertise work?
I'm sorry?
How does leveling of this expertise work?
It's very similar to how their training works. Once they reach kind of their max level, then their training screen becomes more of a specialty screen, and they have varying degrees of basically like a progress bar that shows you what level they are in each one. We're hoping that we can do some changes still, so that, like, for example, if you specialize them in axes, then a lot of the look of the cart that the blacksmith has, like a lot of the swords would get replaced with axes, and it would look like it was a little bit more specialized, but we haven't decided whether we can do that yet.
Will there be a cap for the amount of enchants or other things for one item?
A cap for the amount? Yeah, you can only enchant an item once. You can write over an enchant. So, like, if you just change your mind and you want to do a different enchant on an item, you can do that. But you can't put multiple enchants on an item.
Okay, and
hello again. First of all, go with the stash thing that works great in Torchlight and other games. And second, taking up the stash thing, will there be unlimited space for stash this time?
Unlimited space?
Unlimited.
No, there won't be unlimited space. That's basically storage limitation. Like we can't, but it's very large. The stash is very large, like ridiculously large. So I make sure of that. I hate the Diablo 2 stash. It's teeny tiny. There were actually technical reasons why it was teeny tiny, but who cares? It's teeny tiny and we hate it.
Thank you.
this section.
You said specializing the artisans. Is there a possibility to have two of the same kind of artisans, or is there a possibility to re-specialize an artisan once he's specialized?
You can't have two of the same kind they're unique characters, so they're actually, they're named and they have stories and backgrounds and everything. So and there's not really a big reason to have multiple blacksmiths. You can't re-specialize, but there's not a need because specialties aren't exclusive. So if you specialize your guy in axes and then you change your mind and you want to do swords, yeah, you've progressed in axes a little bit, but it doesn't prevent you from going over and starting to specialize swords.
Okay, thank you.
So we would have time for 3 more questions. You again, no? Let's do the first.
Hello, can you craft every item in the game? Like unique sets or artifact sets items in the game?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Set items like in Diablo 2. Can you craft them with the artisans in Diablo 3?
Sure, I didn't understand the items.
Set items.
Set items, sorry. Set items, yes, there will be set items in Diablo 3. They're in design right now, so we don't know exactly what they're going to look like and whether they're going to be, I imagine that will allow some set items to be crafted. One of our goals is, and one of the questions that I'm sure will get asked is, well, where do we see items at the end of the game? Or, how many legendary items going to be the best items? Or are crafted items going to be the best items? Or rare items? And our goal is that there's, if you look at a max level character, he's wearing a mix of all items types. He's got a few legendaries because he uses hammers, and the best hammer is a legendary item. And a few rares because rares tend to produce the best shoulder pads or the best helmets. And a few crafted items because they tend to produce the best boots or the best pants, And that's not exactly what it'll be, but it'll be something like that. And so our goal is that there's a valid reason for every item type, that one does not dominate, but that they all kind of, dominate their individual slot that they are put into.
Okay, thank you.
One last. In Diablo 2 there was an item level defining how many sockets an item could have. Will this system be in Diablo 3 as well, or could a level 2 hammer have 8 sockets?
Yes, that's how we do it right now. We limit the number of sockets based on the quality and the level of the item. A lot of the internal workings of our item system is almost exactly like Diablo 2.
Thank you very much.
So, one last question. Okay, these two, and then...
will there be some really hard quests like the Hellfire quest or the cow level? Much more, maybe, than in Diablo 2?
Really hard quests.
There will hard, not only a boss, really, really hard.
We have events throughout the game that are meant to be challenging outside of the area of a boss fight. Will they be exceptionally hard in the higher difficulties? Probably. Probably not through normal difficulty. But we haven't gotten into too many higher difficulty, but pretty much once we get into hell difficulty, I'm probably going to go through and make everything hurt you and make you cry. So, okay, thank you.
Hi. I suppose that the enchantment and the socketing of items cost gold, am I right there?
So you are? Yes, you are.
Okay, so I suppose that gold will play a much larger role in Diablo 3 than in Diablo 2.
Absolutely. One of the reasons that we wanted to focus on this specific kind of crafting system is everything costs gold. I get asked occasionally the question, how are the economy was not very good in Diablo 2, what are you guys going to do to fix it? And primarily what we're going to do is make everything cost gold. So essentially there was an enormous amount of gold coming into the Diablo 2 economy, but almost nothing going out. So crafting is a great way to pull gold back out of the economy, to give the player something to spend on. And salvaging is also a great way to indirectly pull gold out of the economy, because you're pulling items that otherwise just would have been thrown away and vendored and produce more gold. We also do a little bit more control of gold intake, so we don't throw buckets of gold at you as D2 did, primarily so that we can have a more viable economy. Throwing buckets of gold at people is fun for a little while, but after a while, when gold doesn't mean anything, it's just annoying. Thank you.
So with Jay's precise answers, we have time for one more last question. I saw someone over there.
I have one question. In the multiplayer of Diablo 2, you could collect ears, and I want to know if in Diablo 3 if you can collect something similar and maybe make a cool necklace of it or something like that.
A necklace of ears. Oh, how could we not do that? Like, that's a must-have feature. That's a back-of-the-box top bullet point. Wear necklace of ears of your victims. Can you collect ears? Not currently. Will we figure out a way for you to collect ears by the time we ship the game? I don't think I could keep my job if I didn't find a way for you to do that. I just have to leave.
Okay, thank you, Jay. Thank you, everyone.